I'm sure that's what we all want to do. We want to lift each other up. We don't want to, bring each other down, right? We don't want to do that. And by the way, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at AlexGNNYC, AlexGNNYC. And, I try not to podcast back to back days because maybe I'm over saturating your podcast feed. I don't know. But today it feels mighty relevant and mighty timely to talk about this. As you all know, obviously we're dealing with a opioid crisis, and I wrote an article on Medium about this story as well. We'll post the podcast there. But we have this crisis on our hands, and tomorrow we could see justice for, let's see, giving thousands upon thousands opioid addicting drugs for and pocketing $700,000. Dr. Joel Smithers, I'm going to put his name in quotation marks, doctor, because what doctor really prescribes $700,000 worth of medications that could lead you to become opioid addicted, and in one case even kill yourself? I'll get to that in a bit as well. But tomorrow could see justice because he will be sentenced tomorrow. While he faces the mandatory minimum of 20 years for 861 counts of drug distribution, there's no doubt that for a man that ran a slipshod doctor's office, a man that met a woman in a parking lot, she testified, and gave her fentanyl for $300 alone. And as one story goes by the AP, a woman also died at the hands of this 36-year-old married father of 5, by the way. Because what great fatherly figure to basically give out thousands upon thousands of drugs that got people addicted to opioids. This Dr. Smithers opened his practice in 2015 in Martinsville, Virginia. Had his place raided in 2017 by the way, Donald Trump DEA. And let me tell you, by the way, all the noise, I'm on the LIR, but I wanted to kind of do this because it's a very timely thing, and I figured now is better than ever. So, he opened his practice. And then he ran an interstate, according to authorities, drug distribution ring, which contributed to the opioid epidemic in West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, Tennessee, and Virginia. This widespread ring was finally shut down, and the ring leader, or whatever you want to call him, should be facing life. And should be getting life in prison for contributing to this epidemic. Especially when one woman killed herself over this opioid prescriptions. And so, as I mentioned on Medium, 2 things about this. The doctors behind the opioid crisis are no doubt, like Jack Kevorkian, the man that everybody admonished for doing assisted suicide in the 90s. I believe that the doctors around the country that have been convicted and arrested and charged, I don't believe jailed, but charged for all these crimes of addiction. I happen to believe that they are continuing the work of Dr. Kevorkian because he pocketed money for it. He told them, it's okay to kill yourself. And when doctors prescribe medication, not medicine, medication, which will make them addicted, that's not helping them. That's just pocketing cash for addictions. And finally, tomorrow, there will be a prison sentence and hopefully a life sentence for this doctor. And again, I don't even want to call him a doctor. Smithers. Because for pocketing all that money, it's ridiculous that he will now possibly face the mandatory minimum. He should face life. Because he indeed killed a woman from West Virginia. It's terrible. It's terrible. And by the way, as I mentioned, the Trump DEA honed in on this guy, researched him, shut his practice or malpractice down, as I'd like to say. But what do you think? Is this opioid crisis, the doctors behind it, are they continuing in their own way the Kevorkian era by saying, go ahead, take these medications, and if you get addicted, so be it. At least we got the cash. Alex.Garrett21 at yahoo.com. Alex.Garrett21 at yahoo.com. So let's all pay attention tomorrow to see if there is finally justice for the families that have been devastated by this one man out of Martinsville, Virginia. Let's finally turn off the political firestorm going on in our Washington, D.C., in our capital, and tune into things that should really actually uplift. As depressing as the opioid crisis is, this should uplift us because justice will be served for fellow Americans and send a lesson to those that want to prescribe these and make money off prescriptions. You too can be thrown in jail. That's a big deal. And because of this, President Trump's administration doing all of this, charging, prosecuting, jailing, the media won't talk about it because they feel they have other fish to fry. But at the end of the day, in Middle America, in Main Street America, stories like this should send a message that, hey, America still has your back. The justice system still has your back. This woman today in Dallas, this cop that shot a neighbor after she thought it was her home, and he was African American. She thought he invaded the place. Officer Amber is her name. This woman got what she deserved, and this family got the justice they deserved. Well, let's hope that focus can shift tomorrow to another crisis, which is the opioid crisis. And of course, if you know someone addicted to opioids, please seek them help today, not tomorrow, but yesterday and today. Don't sit around and wait. And if you're a doctor prescribing, maybe this will send a message that, hey, you should not be doing this. But think about how the body is reacting to what you're prescribing. You took anatomy. You took health to become this doctor. Now instead of pocketing the cash, do something different with your life. And end the opioid crisis. Don't continue it. Speak out about it. Say, yes, I foolishly and crookedly and greedily prescribed it. But I've turned a corner and said, you know what? I'm going to help these patients. That's all we want. Is to seek help for them. To see justice for them. And it just is amazing to me that it's happening under the Trump administration. Amazing to me. And And that's really all I gotta say tonight on Keeping It Real with Alexander Garrett. So keep your eyes on this. Joel Smithers, 861 federal counts, could be sentenced to prison. Isn't that a fair and just sentencing? I pray it is. I pray that in some way the family is devastated in 5 states by this greedy, evil person. Find some solace and some justice when the judge, his name is Parker Jones, I believe, sentences him to life and a maximum fine of more than $200 million. Because when you bankrupt lives, your bank account should also be bankrupted. Man, I love the message this whole sentencing will set tomorrow. I just hope others heed the call to stop doing the prescribing and start healing the sick, truly healing them. Because these prescriptions don't heal. They just cause other problems. Something I'm sure doctors, when they first got into this field, didn't want to create. And yet here we are. A big step forward. Judge Jones, James Jones. I'll give you an update on him and the sentencing tomorrow when it's dealt. I'm Alexander Garrett, keeping it real tonight on Spreaker and elsewhere, whatever outlet you might be hearing me on. Have a great night.